Right down in the garage today, I changed the oil in the old Chevy today. Now last year I changed this oil in March 31st last year, before I started her up. Now I had a lot of problems with the carburetor. The plugs were fouling out, flooding out. So in May I got the carburetor rebuilt. The oil seemed okay. The oil wasn't gassed up or nothing. So I went to start the car, started the car up, but I looked at the dipstick in this car, and the dipstick was a little bit white, cloudy. It wasn't, you know, like chocolate color that your head gasket's going or whatever, just a little white. Now, it could have been just condensation in the oil. The oil smelled a little bit of gas. So I changed the oil. For a cheap oil change, I changed the oil again in this car. Now this is what I do here. This is my old pans. Okay, these are old refrigerator pans for your old refrigerators, but these are metal. These new ones are plastic. I guess they come out now, but they still do their purpose or whatever. This one I use for my antifreeze when I drain my antifreeze, and this one here I put a little bag in it. A little black bag that you got, like a little waste paste bag. Keeps it clean. You know, I put all the oil in here, and then I drain my oil in these gallon jugs. I take them to the auto parts store, and it's recycle free. AutoZone recycles your oil free. Don't dump it down the sewer or wherever you do with it, because you get a fine or all that. Take it to the AutoZone. It's free. They just recycle it, and they take it away. This is the oil I use in this car. This is 1540. Now this is an old motor in this car, and the bearing clearances in these cars, the old cars, are a bit thicker. There's more space in the bearings. Your newer cars have thinner spaces. That's why you got high oil pressures in the new cars, and that's why they use synthetic oil and use a 530 oil. So you can use a 1030 in this car for winter time, but I don't drive it in the winter. I usually use it in the summertime, and a 1040. So I just went with an extra 1540 in this car. Now oil is 10 weight and 15 weight and 5 weight. That's what the oil starts at. It's all 10 weight oil, but they put molecules in this oil, and it makes it a 1030 and a 1040. When it heats up, they expand. But when the oil goes bad, your molecules don't go up, so now you don't have a 1030, you got a 1020, or you got a 1040, you would have a 1030. So the oil will go down. That's why I changed the oil in this car. Every 6 months you're supposed to change your oil, because your oil breaks down in your car through the time. It don't get the mileage. It doesn't get the 3,000 miles on this car. Maybe the other car, the Camaro, will get the 3,000 miles on it within a year. But you change your oil because your oil breaks down in your motor with the metals and stuff in a car. So it's a cheap thing. You go get the oil. It cost me 26 bucks. I got the oil and the filter. I changed the filter too. Filter was like $7, so this is a good filter. It's a good good paperweight. Not a paperweight, it's like a metal inside. Some of these old filters are junk. So I got a good filter for this car. I changed the oil. The oil did smell a little bit of gas in it. That could have been just because it sits through the year. I just want to show you a little something in a minute. Let me take this screwdriver a minute. See, the oil is not that dirty. It looks black when they condense it, but the oil had like a little, when I took the dipstick out of the car, it had a little whitish on it. That ain't leaking no antifreeze. The head gasket ain't bad in this car. The antifreeze is filled all the way up. There's no oil mixing in the radiator. If your head gaskets go, you would get oil in your radiator fluid, and then you would get a ton of oil in your oil crankcase. You would get the antifreeze going in there, and it turned out to be like a milkshake, like a brownish milkshake. Now your head gasket's a shot, and you got to take it out. But what I think happens with this car through the years of letting it sit in the wintertime, all the gas goes down from the carburetor and it goes back through the rings by sitting there, and it goes into the oil. So that's why I changed the oil in the motor. It runs good, starts right up. And another thing here, just covering the plate up on this, but there's my old T-shirts. Guys want to know what you do with your old T-shirts? You can use them for waxing your car. You can use them for shop rags. And there's my old socks. You want to do some old socks? That's what you do with the old socks. Take the old socks, instead of throwing them in the garbage, get a use out of them. Here's the bag. Here's the bag of all my old socks. I just keep putting them in the bag. When I want to grab a rag, wipe your hands. That's what I do. I put them in the garage. Instead of just throwing them in the garbage, put them in a little bag. You want to wipe some paint up, or your oil, or whatever you want to do with it. Now you throw them in the garbage. You get a use out of them. So this little video. Hope you enjoy it. But you change your oil every 3,000 miles, normal. That Camaro out there was changed every 2,200 miles since it was new. It's got over 270,000 miles on that car. So some of these new synthetic oils, they go, 5,000 or 7,000 miles. I don't believe in that, because you can still get dirt in there. And you change your filter every time. So change your filter and your oil, and you're good to go. If you let your car sit like this car sits through the winter, then you're going to have to change it again. It's well worth it. For the $25, $27, change your oil again in here. You don't want to have no other problems. That's the cheapest way to do it. Dump the oil, takes about 20 minutes. Put a new filter on it, and the oil. Alright, talk to you later.